Hey, it's me. Just had a few things to talk about, mainly concerning Creative Assembly and where they're taking the game at the moment. Got some single-player Tarkov going on in the back, just in case you're watching and not just listening. There's been a lot of resentment floating around towards CA lately, and I can't say it's undeserved. To be very frank, candid rather, they've been treating us like a neglected spouse, putting very little into the relationship and expecting you and me, the players, to come crawling back every time. We've got what, a 10-month content drought, updates that break the game further, a whole race that is, from what I understand, non-functional in terms of its AI. I mean, what's next? Dragons stop flying? Thorgrim shaves his beard? Well, one of those spouses, a one legend of Total War, recently decided he'd had enough. Now, I've tuned in here or there for Legend's videos. I've enjoyed a lot of his Medieval 2 content. And while I wouldn't call myself a die-hard fan or anything, it was always nice just to see his videos come up, and occasionally I'd check in, see what kind of cheese he's laying on the enemy. But CA managed to lose him. Like, it's in the guy's name, Legend of Total War. And he was only making videos of the vanilla games. He never touched mods as far as I know. And as someone who likewise has played a lot of Total War, and now is making mods and videos for the game, I'm sitting here thinking, what am I doing? If one of your biggest fans has abandoned you, a guy who gave you so much free exposure, so much marketing and good press for your games, I hardly think that I matter in this space any more than he does. I mean, I haven't been modding in this game for even a year. He did his thing for a whole decade across all of the games. I'm nothing compared to Legend or other creators of that sphere like Great Book of Grudges. I'm nobody, just speaking truthfully. And so I feel compelled, obligated, to add my voice to the growing choir. I don't know what CA is thinking right now, I'm not in their heads. But if I was trying to rot a community from the inside out, I'd be doing what they're doing. I've seen speculation that they want to kill off the Warhammer Fantasy fanbase and make way for 40k stuff or other projects. None of that really matters to me, mainly because it's something that I haven't really had a close eye on, and I can't lend credence to something that I don't have hard evidence for. But I want to explain why, if anything else, neglecting Warhammer Fantasy is a grave mistake. When the first Total War Warhammer game came out, I thought, man, what a gimmick. Are they really out of ideas that soon? Prior to that, the most I had done was play the demo for Total War Rome 2, and that was it. And now look at me. In the past, I'd say 6 or 7 years, I've put 2,100 hours into Warhammer 2, a bunch more into the third game, and I have now made a decent amount of units for one of the game's main factions. I even picked up Vermintide 2 and played a bunch of that. You know what Warhammer Fantasy also did for me, though? It made me a Warhammer 40k fan. I played Warhammer 2 a bunch, and while I would do that, I would also be listening to lore videos on 40k. I learned all about the Imperium of Man, the Orcs, the Kroorks, the Tyranids, Space Marine chapters and their focuses, and eventually, I started playing some of the games. I got into Darktide, I got into Space Marine 2, I even picked up Space Hulk Deathwing and got my butt royally kicked in it. That game is absurdly difficult, but really friggin' cool. I mean, there's nothing like Terminator armor. Are you seeing what I'm getting at, though? There's a pipeline there. One that funneled me from historical Total War into Warhammer Total War, and then into where Games Workshop and Creative Assembly seem to want people to be right now, Warhammer 40k. And call it a hunch, call it projection, call it whatever you want, but I do not think I am the only person to walk that path. I think there are many people who weren't such big fans of 40k or grimdark or sci-fi in general, but were giant fantasy nerds like me, and picked up Warhammer Fantasy and then migrated into liking 40k. It was an on-ramp of sorts. By doing what they are doing, by neglecting Total War Warhammer 3 and Warhammer Fantasy at large, Games Workshop and Creative Assembly are in danger of cutting off a major artery that fuels their favored fanbase. I am talking about the people that buy all the overpriced miniatures and buy every DLC for every game they make, The whales and the diehards, of course. But I'm also talking about players like you and me. People who really enjoy the game for what it is, buy a DLC that interests them once in a while, and play a campaign or two before moving on to a different game. And the cycle repeats. Sustainably, I might add. But this game has something else unique going for it as well. The Steam Workshop. Now, I love mods. I don't think that's a major revelation. Mods are what can sustain a game far, far past its original release date. I mean, just look at games like Skyrim. That game came out in 2011, and to this day, I still play that game on and off because of all the cool mods people have made for it. Simple ones that add weapons and armor, all the way up to ones like Vigilant or Dark End that add content that are sometimes bigger than the paid DLCs. Warhammer 3 is no different. I've used mods in every single campaign I've played in Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 3, mainly ones that added new units. Let me tell you though, it is rarely the DLC that keeps me coming back to this game to see what's up. It is me scrolling through the Steam Workshop and sampling some of the insanely cool new units that people have made for the game. And on this, I know I am definitely not alone. I get so many comments on my videos saying, I bought the game just to play your mod, or, alright fine, I'll play Warhammer 3 again. I'm always touched to see those ones, so keep it up. But those of us who use mods in the game are also, in a way, sort of insulated from the broader screw-ups that CA makes. Because whatever they break, we tend to fix. All it takes is finding a fix that someone has uploaded, hitting the subscribe button, activating it in your manager, and boom, problem's gone. You cannot keep doing that forever though, and here's where I need my buddies in the modding community to really come out of the woodwork on this. It will come for us. Eventually, these problems will be so bad that they will be beyond our power to fix without serious work. And even if those fixes are found and implemented, they'll still break each time the game gets a hotfix. The game needs to be repaired and maintained from the top down in this case, not bottom up. It shouldn't be on us to make field repairs to this game in order to keep it humming along. What we should be free to do with our effort is add to the game. Units, maps, factions, not patch every leak in the hull, even if that is something that plenty who play and mod the game are willing to do. That is the lifeblood of this game, the community. Not your preferred projects, not the thing you want to point everyone's eyes at. It is the organic growth and health of your community. This fan base that keeps coming back to either check out new content or play a solid game that they know will entertain them, the same as it always has. That is who you need to pay attention to. Right now, for one reason or another, CA is snubbing both of those things, making a good game and keeping it good. Call it questionable hiring practices, call it questionable business decisions. I'm being diplomatic here. It could be one or all of the things that people have been citing as the reason for this behavior. Frankly, I'd call it dereliction of duty if I was in the military. But we're not, so I'll just call it like I see it. Apathy and taking us for granted. Now, the good news in all of this is that all of it, everything, is totally fixable. The fan base is still there, still loyal, still waiting and hoping that you, CA, will turn this thing around and get back on track. We would not all still be here if this meant nothing to us and if we didn't care. Maybe that's been part of the problem, is the complacency, or rather the vain hope that all by yourself, all of a sudden, as if by magic, you'll come to your senses and realize, holy crap, we're subjecting our IP to death by 1,000 cuts. And I don't typically endorse review bombing as it messes with the long-term health of the game, and it's the last thing I'd want to happen to anything I've made. But I'm a bit late to the party, it seems. Many people have taken it upon themselves to let you know just how hard you are screwing up right now. And I'm considering adding to the pile, not just with this video, but with a review voicing my dissatisfaction with your treatment of not just the game, but the wide and deep fan base that you are flipping the proverbial bird at right now. It is very sad, and I don't like seeing yet another one of my favorite intellectual properties fall on hard times. Hard times that could have been avoided if you would just start listening to the right people again. I don't think I'm alone in lamenting the path you've chosen. one that many other IPs like Star Wars or Magic the Gathering now walk, where they just start listening to the wrong people simply because their voices are the loudest or nearest. Something's gotta change. Legend leaving the space is a more significant sea change than I think any of us realize or are prepared to realize, and he likely won't be the last. I want these games to do well. I want Warhammer 3 to do well. Not just because I like to play the game, but because I want to keep making my own content for it. I still have so many ideas for new units, so many ideas for videos showcasing them. But if you keep neglecting the game that I want to put them in the community that wants it to endure for years to come, it's going to start getting difficult for me to justify to myself why I should keep making content for a game made by people who resent me. It is not too late, but it is getting close. At some point, you gotta wake up and smell the ashes. Yeah, you tell him, Grandpa.
Attention, this cannot continue. Failure is an immediate threat.
Hear my exact words. It is not sustainable. If you continue this pattern of behavior, the beautiful tree that was planted long before your time will wither and die. And unless that is your plan, something else will grow in its place. The bottom line being that you are cutting the roots that hold up this behemoth and putting it in jeopardy of coming crashing down, as well as driving away all the people that watered and fed it and would otherwise help you stand it upright once again. I'll still make the world I have in my head. I'll still make my 17th century steampunk army, the soldiers, the war machines, the world and all the factions in it. But what form that takes will depend on where I see the game going. If CA hikes up their pants and snaps out of it, starts really addressing the main problems with not just the game but their management, then great. I'll be happy to keep making units for the game. But if this gets worse, if they keep holding themselves unaccountable to people like you and me and just ignoring the glaring problems, I will consider just taking my ideas elsewhere. Not unlike what Legend has done. His sacrifice is much greater than mine. I'm still new on the scene. I could go anywhere, focus on one game or many. Total War was his thing, and as another creative individual, I can fully understand the insane frustration that comes with having something that matters to you get completely screwed up by talentless and incompetent people who don't have any skin in the game or share the creative vision. As a content creator, a writer, an artist, whatever your flavor is, you're putting a piece of you into your work and putting it out there, a piece of your soul, really. And somehow, the people who are just there to collect a paycheck are the ones who end up steering the ship. That's not fair in any world. It's an inversion of how things should be. Merit and skill should win out, and the people with the drive and the vision should be at the helm. If you want my advice, do what he suggested, and don't buy the Tides of Torment DLC. Vote with your wallet, and make it super clear that the studio is in need of some serious course correction, and that the ones with their hands currently on the wheel are the ones sailing it towards an iceberg. This is just going to keep happening otherwise. We're going to have more creator crash outs, more bleeding of the fan base, more legal action, more bugs that are going to be left up to the modding community to fix until the game is a giant wad of duct tape. I don't want it to get to that point. One, because frankly, it's embarrassing. Relying on your player base to fix the game for you while expecting them to be happy with its brokenness. But for another thing, it's also just this massive red flag that they do not care about what we think of the state of the game, so long as we keep rewarding their bad behavior by giving them money. It's sick to think of them in these terms, but you do sort of have to treat them like a child at this point. Punishment when they do something bad, and rewards when they do something good. But that good is going to have to come in the form of some corporate restructuring, which I'm not exactly hopeful for. Maybe we'll see a miracle and Sega will step in and do something to stop them from screwing with their bottom line. Who knows? A lot of things have happened lately that I did not have on my bingo card. Anything is possible, even good things. We'll see what happens. My family's motto is expect the worst, hope for the best. In the meantime, I'll keep working on the tank, make some more shorts, and after that, we'll see if I don't branch out into other games some more. It's out of my hands, and there's some weird comfort in that. Learning to not care about what you cannot control is a superpower that I encourage everyone to foster. It helps out immensely in times like these, and I'm glad that Legend says he's found his peace. That's all for now. See you next time.
Goodbye.